Now that Kevin Mather, seen here showing us how many people will actually miss him, is no longer with the organization, we're going to go back to our regular content. So today, we discuss how the Seattle Mariners can shock the world and end their postseason drought in 2021. But before we begin, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Let's get started. The Seattle Mariners' path to the postseason is incredibly narrow, especially after the playoff format from 2020 was not carried over to 2021. Going from 8 playoff teams to 5 playoff teams will make things exceedingly difficult for this young Mariners team. In fact, the most likely path to the playoffs actually comes from winning the AL West, now arguably the weakest division in the entire sport. Winning one of the 2 wildcard spots would be difficult, with teams like Cleveland, Minnesota, Chicago, Tampa Bay, New York, Toronto, and Boston ahead of Seattle. For the Mariners to make the playoffs, they need to play quite well against their division foes. Thankfully, the AL West is heading into a downslope as the Astros, A's, and Rangers all got worse this winter, and the Angels didn't clearly upgrade their roster despite making a lot of moves. Thankfully, the Seattle Mariners have arguably the best rotation in the division. Adding James Paxton provided a major lift to the ceiling of the rotation, which is exactly what Seattle needs with fewer playoff spots in play. The Mariners will still need to see Yusei Kikuchi and Justin Sheffield take another step in their development, and Chris Flexen will need to look like he looked in the KBO last season for this to be a good rotation, but it has a pretty good blend of floor and upside, featuring strike throwers and guys with good stuff who can miss bats if needed. That alone makes this arguably the deepest rotation in the American League West, and in a season that will jump to 162 games following a short 60-game season, rotation depth is going to be a key for teams pursuing a playoff position. Despite the good rotation, Seattle will need more from its offense in 2021, but the return of a healthy Mitch Haniger and Tom Murphy are pretty good places to start. The team needs to see if Dylan Moore's 2020 is sustainable, and they'll need to see serious growth at the plate from both J.P. Crawford and Evan White, but the lineup does have a pretty nice blend of speed and power that gives it some upside. The lineup will need to hit its upside for a serious playoff run, as it currently isn't deep enough to handle sustained slumps from the team's best players like Mitch Haniger and Kyle Seager. Seattle's also going to need help from their prospect pool, and guys like Jarred Kelenic and Logan Gilbert will have to provide fairly significant value right away. Any help they can get from their bullpen prospects would greatly help stabilize the middle of this bullpen, but the back half of the bullpen is at least interesting and could make things worth watching as we head into July, and that's really as far as this group will be able to take you. And this is where Jerry DiPoto would need to become an active buyer at the trade deadline, likely needing to add at least another mid-rotation arm, a back-end bullpen arm, and a solid middle-of-the-order bat to give the current roster a fighting chance in September. These are all really long odds, and they require really good injury luck. But that's exactly what the 2021 Seattle Mariners will need to make the playoffs. They'll need a lot of good luck. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No, and I think we all understand that that's where the Mariners are in their rebuild. It's disappointing that they couldn't go out and add another rotation arm or maybe a left fielder to help brace themselves if Jarred Kelenic, for example, comes up and struggles. But as the team stands right now, it's going to need a lot of luck and a lot of really good play to compete for a playoff spot. Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know in the comments section down below, how many wins do you think the Mariners will have in 2021? If you want to check out our series, The Plan, a documentary about the rebuild of the Seattle Mariners, click the video on the left of the screen. That's all I have for you this week, and we will see you in another life. Peace out.